podcast. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you. We're thrilled to have you here with us. We've actually got 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have 1442 episodes where we cover the mental side of our brand. We'll go over things like mental toughness and our experiences with that. We have physical vitality episodes, which is what we have today for you, where we cover the physical side of our brand. And we go over things like what our Untapped training app includes, which is powered by the First Form Performance platform. We also cover everything to do with training, nutrition, supplements, trending articles and topics within the fitness industry. And we give our thoughts and opinions on those.
Love it, dude. We also, guys, our third format there is our breaking news format, current event-based format. We touch on current events, current articles, and the solution-based aspect to those. We also have our fourth format, which is our Knights Table format. It is a masculinity-based format. We touch on things like toxic masculinity, fatherhood, etc., male-based topics in general, and how important men are to the future of, especially the United States, but also the world. Now, on to our fifth format as well, we have our guest format. That one's pretty self-explanatory. We sit down with a guest that brings you a ton of value, and then we also learn a lot from those episodes. You will, in turn, learn a lot from those episodes as well. Now, our final thing to introduce before the fact of the day and the main content of the episode, our producer and my brother, Mitch and Gabel.
What's up? What's up, dude?
What's up?
Looks a little different in here, eh?
What's going on in here?
I know.
I don't know what's happening right now.
We look badass is what's going on.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
If you're listening on audio, you need to switch the video real quick.
Welcome to the Anchorman.
Because
Welcome to the Anchorman, the movie.
man, we would talk about some wild stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Wild.
Yeah. You've seen bloopers from that movie too.
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks like. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
if you guys
all
couldn't tell, though, again, what we're talking about here,
yes.
should be pretty obvious.
Brand new setup, a custom-made podcast table made by the three of us, I should say. Well, you and I and my dad, but
right. 10% me,
sure,
and then
90% us.
let's say 30% you, and then
Oh, whoa, hey! I gave way more than 30%. That's crazy talk.
All I'm saying is Dave's a dog.
Dave's a
dog with the
Absolutely.
woodworking.
Absolutely.
So I'm just giving him a lot of credit
The
here.
custom burned logos on the front.
Oh gosh,
That was a learning experience for both him and I, and they turned out. I mean, look at those. Look awesome. They look awesome.
insane.
So, yeah, new setup, a needed upgrade from what we had. What's actually pretty cool, though, is the setup we had. What did we calculate? 105 episodes?
108. I thought you said 108.
108,
I
yeah.
could be wrong.
Over
Yeah,
100.
yeah.
Over
Yeah.
100 episodes in that previous setup, which is pretty sweet when you think about that. All the way back to when we were still doing seasons, which is crazy.
It was as far back as I believe, like season 3, episode 14. Was that it?
Yeah, it was something like
we
that.
We marked it around that time.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Which is pretty crazy because I guess that would be about 2 years, give or take.
Insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Insane, dude.
Again, we're on our 5th year, not at it, but on our 5th year of the podcast already. And but anyway, yeah, sweet setup. Again, if you're on audio, take a look at YouTube or just click the switch to video button on Spotify and take a look at this because it looks awesome. Anyway, hopping into the fact of the day from Money Mitch. What do you got for us?
So, did you know, let me read this. The mathematical symbol for division, right? The line with the 2 dots above and below.
Thanks.
I don't think you guys know what that is.
Such an ass.
I did pass
Okay.
elementary math.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is called an obulus. I think that's how you pronounce it. An obulus.
You know that was in the textbook somewhere too.
Probably.
Like at some point in time, there's no way you're going to read something like that in the textbook,
Right.
In elementary school or middle school or whatever.
I couldn't even read until I was in high school.
I mean, you'd think you were in Mississippi. Mississippi, it's like a 50% literacy
Dude,
rate.
no kidding. Same with Alabama.
That's crazy.
There is some other reasons for that in Mississippi, but you know,
That's crazy.
yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. In as advanced of a country as we are, to still have those types of low percentages in areas of the country, I mean, it's insane.
Well, remember, even outside of like Tuscaloosa, you know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
University of Alabama. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the same thing, 50% literacy rate in the counties outside of Tuscaloosa.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of people. It's actually, that could be an episode we talk about eventually, is like the socioeconomic differences between stuff like that with fitness. And I don't mean like some kind of shit lib way or something like that, obviously, but what I more mean is like how interesting it is, like depending on the resources and how active your space is, how it matches. A lot of those people are also very unhealthy in rural areas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there's just, now granted, we also would argue that you have open woods and open fields there. Like you
have ways to get it done.
Plenty of room to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But if you don't designate stuff for that, it makes it harder to get stuff done.
Right.
So,
right.
anyways.
No, absolutely. So it's called what? An obulus? Is that what you said?
Obulus. Yeah, it's kind of.
I'll stick with division symbol.
Yeah, that's one I'll just never use ever.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
There's some other ones Mitchell said where I'm like, I could keep that in the back pocket. You know what I mean?
I could see in like a trivia night type situation where what's the real name of the division symbol?
True.
That could be
so maybe not. Maybe we'll keep it deep in the back pocket, but it's there.
I mean, who knows? It could be worth $10 million down the road at trivia. Just saying.
It's like a Pokemon card.
Yeah, no kidding.
As we talked about before.
Yeah. So as I said, we got a physical vitality today. Donuts. Don't look at me like that. Donuts versus pre-workout.
Let's go.
Donuts versus pre-workout.
This is like a Mortal Kombat match between the two. Full blown fight like that.
So stupid.
I love it.
I think the desk made us stupid or something.
Oh yeah. No, it made us giddy is what
I
it
was
made
going to
us.
say, we're just very giddy.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. This is sick, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah, so which one gets you prepared better for working out? It's actually not at all.
Which one's a better pre-workout?
Yeah, it's actually not at all what we're talking about.
No,
though.
Of course.
It's more the topic of, here in the United States at least, things like eating McDonald's 24/7, eating donuts 24/7, eating
cupcakes,
chips, White Castle.
One time. You and I one time crave case 30,
Demolished
15 each.
In like 15 minutes.
I don't even know if it was 15 minutes. I genuinely, I was inhaling those.
Because they're like one biters.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
For us, 100%. Yeah.
Anyway,
a very large former skinny guy that needed to eat, and then a former fat guy. Right. So like two guys that can demolish some food if needed. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That side is widely accepted and normal. Yes, quotations certainly
so to speak.
Intended.
Yeah,
normalized, right? And you're weird if you say no to those things, right? Or if you don't go to those places or whatever. And while on the other side, things like taking pre-workout. All of a sudden, everyone becomes a doctor when you start taking pre-workout. Oh, you better watch out. It's going to blow your heart up. Is it? Is it? Really? Really? Interesting.
I guess depending on the pre-workout.
I mean,
yeah. If it's like one of those old Jack 3D flavors,
right.
Oh, man.
Right.
But your distinction here is important.
Yeah, right.
You're talking about two things that, again, what you're making the point of, by the way, too. I want to clarify this for the listeners and the viewers. What Wurtz is saying is that the people that eat the donuts, they eat the McDonald's, they eat the disgusting fast food and all this, and they just crush just unhealthy stuff all the time, are also the ones that will sit there and look you dead in the eye and tell you that pre-workout's going to kill you.
Yeah, right. While they're 100 pounds overweight.
Well, hey, Paul, whatever your name is.
Paul's a chubbo.
I mean, yeah. I do know a couple large Pauls. I will say that. Really random, but
Mitch over there. What are you talking about?
Extremely random. But Paul, hey, Paul, buddy, I don't think you need to worry about what's killing me.
You're right.
Genuinely.
You might want to start with you.
Yeah, you might want to look internally on that one.
Right.
Yep. And that's the difference maker. Because again, what we're going to outline here a little bit too is there's a moderation aspect.
Sure, of course.
With some of the crappy food and whatnot, to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a part of the pre-workout argument where there is a moderation and a smart dosage and usage of pre-workout.
Of course.
Absolutely as well.
Yeah.
But the main distinction is what we just mentioned, is you have a super unhealthy lifestyle and you're commenting on health in general.
Yeah.
You're telling people that go to the gym that use something that, a harsher stimulant, like there are pre-workouts that literally have the 400 plus milligrams of caffeine.
Sure.
I think there's pre-workout out there that S2 maybe sells or something like that. That's like 550 or something. I believe it could be one of the Gorilla Mind ones. But,
yeah, actually it is.
But Gorilla Mind markets it as this is a PR one.
Yeah, no, it literally says it on the can.
Do not use this as your daily driver.
Right.
They literally make that very clear on
right,
there.
Which is great from them because there's plenty of pre-workout, either just solely pre-workout companies or supplement companies that have those high dosages that don't put those types of things on there. Because even arguably, the 400 milligram ones, you can make the argument that type of thing should be on there also.
I would say so.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
I used to take that every single day. One of those pre-workouts that has 400.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great pre-workout.
We knew women who would take it
exactly
every single day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot, because then you're also probably, if you're a caffeinated pre-workout user, that probably also means that you're an energy drink user and or coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before you know it, you're stacking milligrams. You might be at a whole gram by the end of the day.
And we've known people to be as high as that.
That can very quickly catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It might not. We're not doctors. We're not saying it will. It's not definitive.
You also can't say like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to kill you in 5 years.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're not going to sit here and say anything like that. But that can catch up to you real quick.
But detrimental effects, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, back to the original point, you can make the argument that those 400 milligram ones should have something like that. Is that maybe not so great for marketing or sales? Maybe. But it actually puts more trust from consumers into your brand, into your products, therefore creating more sales and more consistent sales over time.
Well, and keep in mind, you and I will also make the point that the pre-workout market has, let's call it this, it's been built on unstable foundations.
Mm-hmm.
When pre-workout first came onto the market, it was completely untested.
Oh,
completely untested.
Yeah.
You might as well have been taking meth.
Yeah,
to
right.
work out. Like
right.
in some cases, like, I mean, again, you're not obviously taking meth, but the point remains is like you had some ingredients in there that were like
questionable,
really questionable.
Some with literal amphetamines in them.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's a thing.
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you're talking about like we're talking about guys that would take some of these pre-workouts 3 times and they would notice palpitations from it and stuff like that. Again, totally anecdotal, but still, like, I mean, that's a question mark if it's like a guy's having that issue after using it for 3 times or something like that. So, I mean, you have the DMAA and stuff like that type of thing be a common thing. So the pre-workout industry has been built on a very unsteady foundation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's a very crazy marketing foundation.
And it's for the most part, it's also very well marketed because fun names, cool names, God mode, extreme, those types of things, right?
Yep.
So it gets you excited because it's a cool name. It's got some cool packaging, maybe a good flavor. Maybe one of your favorite gym influencers is selling it or is promoting it rather.
There was one I think called like Demon Slayer or something like that.
Yeah, no, like I know God mode is a real one.
Actually,
at least was.
At least it was. Yeah.
And so you've got these things that I don't think this is the objective necessarily of the companies, but it's preying on people, PREY, preying on people that don't know any better. God mode. Well, yeah, like this sounds awesome. Like I want to walk into the gym feeling like that. We used to say one it would turn you into a Dementor and you would float into the gym. Because, dude, the first week you take it, you feel that way.
Oh my gosh.
You feel unstoppable.
Oh my gosh.
You 10x all your lifts.
You and
not,
I
not actually.
You and I considered fighting people every single day we were in the gym on that thing. I'm not even kidding.
just angry and energetic.
We'd finish a set of 60-pound dumbbell presses. And we'd be like, oh, we're gonna go beat his ass.
We were him.
Just shit weight. I mean, we'd finish a set of 225 on squats, and we were like, "Oh, I'm that dude. I'm that guy, 100%."
Oh my gosh.
I mean, granted, again, this is 22-year-old Wurtz and I at this point in time. So still lacking brain cells at that point in time for sure. Still am.
5 years later, we
just like
still
smarter about our lacking brain cells now, I guess, if it makes sense.
Maybe more aware of our lack of brain cells.
More self-awareness about our lacking brain cells. Yeah, 100%. 100%, dude. Oh man. I mean, granted, like there was a literal night like that we basically might as well have been on this extreme pre-workout. You know what I'm talking about too, because we just watched an MMA fight and we thought we were the baddest dudes in the room then too.
Yep.
But anyways, so the point remains that one was crazy because that one, the one Wurtz is talking about actually is another one of those like PR type pre-workouts.
For sure.
Like if it's gonna be one of those days where it's a 1 to 3 rep max type of day, it's time.
Yeah.
Like a once a month pre-workout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally. I mean, maybe once every 2 weeks at most.
Right.
Even then, I'm like, maybe not. But
right.
400 milligrams of caffeine, 10 grams of citrulline malate. Beta alanine was jacked through the roof.
I think it was a 5 gram beta alanine, which the efficacious dose is 3.
I believe it was at least in the 4 grams. I know that for sure. I'd have to go back and look at the label, truthfully.
Which I think, as far as beta alanine, you might be able to confirm this a little bit better than I, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with going over the 3.2 efficacious dose.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to harm you.
You would have to go pretty egregious with it for it to cause an issue. Because it's one of those, it makes you itch and whatnot. So it's a performance enhancer in that way, vasodilator, that type of stuff. Sure. So like,
it's a great product.
And again, like primarily a citrulline is going to be your main vasodilator and whatnot, nitric oxide type of, increaser.
Which, for those that may not know, that just means increased blood flow. Yeah. That's all it means.
Basically. Yeah. And again, like you talk about something like creatine in a pre-workout, that one had at least 5 grams.
I think it was
5 grams, which is great.
5.
When pre-workouts do have that. But again, pre-workout's going to help with ATP production, which is going to help your energy. It's also going to help with your power production during a workout. So this pre-workout was dosed extremely well.
Yeah.
Like if you want to talk about a PR day, like it's going to hit all those boxes for you. You know what I mean? But Wurtz is right. Like it literally did make us feel like we were maniacs every time we would take it.
Yeah.
Like straight up, I would be like walking around with my eyes wide like this. You guys can see it on the camera right now, like straight, like full blown, wide eyed, especially the first week.
And not to mention, you are locked the hell in.
Yes.
By the way, like mentally, like it doesn't actually like make you angry or anything like that. Like we're being a little exaggerated here, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, it locks you in, and like your focus is on the lift.
Yep.
And which is it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
It's what I would assume. And again, you and I have never taken testosterone or any other anabolic compounds like that or something like that outside of
that you know of.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess that if you haven't told me anything like that, true. But obviously, I've used enclomiphene. That's by no means an anabolic compound or something like that. So I would imagine, something like trenbolone acetate or something like that. I would like some guys talk about it like that, but then they'll literally wake up in cold sweats and get 2 hours of sleep, and it's like, okay, that's also not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like,
and have like legitimate mood swings and stuff
and
too.
like legitimate issues. Not even just back knee, but also just issues hormonally and organ wise as well.
Yeah.
So don't do that. But the point is, this gave you, even like taking it one day, it gave you that extra bit of just smack in the face you needed for that really hard day. You know what I mean? So it's good. But again, as we're saying, with the pre-workout side of things, you have to be aware and intelligent about how you dose your pre-workouts.
Yeah.
Because on those days too, even back then when you and I were 22, 23 at that time taking it, we actually made a point. I remember you and I would very rarely have an energy drink with it those days.
Sure.
Like I clearly remember we would just have that as our caffeine throughout the day, that 400 milligrams, and then we were done.
Yeah.
So even, again, as we joke about our brain cells and whatnot, we were still intelligent about our taking it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's even something to point out and make a quick like anecdotal point on for us as well, to where like that doesn't mean if you're taking one of those pre-workouts, you sure as hell shouldn't be having 2 energy drinks with it.
No, you definitely should.
There's no way. You shouldn't be having 1 extra with it, truthfully, for that matter.
Right.
Day after day after day after day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, like we're going on a trip, boys trip here soon and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we might surpass the caffeine a little bit for a couple days or something like that. You know what I mean?
You saw how much I got us.
Yeah, true. Yeah, those of you that saw Wurtz's story of the stack up he got.
Only half of that was for the trip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. 48 drinks. Yeah, great. That's just half of it, yeah.
Mitch, I hope you like caffeine. I'll just say that. Yeah, shut up.
Out.
Okay, so anyway, let's circle back to the original points here to close this out, because we just went on a long tangent there about the pre-workout. But it gives context to the points here. Overall point is these certain things are quote unquote normal, accepted by society, and you're weird if you don't participate. We could even throw drinking in there, right? While eating healthier, working out, taking care of yourself, using supplements, drinking a ton of water. I mean, how many comments have you and I both gotten about, man, that's a giant jug. Like you're gonna drink too much water.
It's still a weekly comment for me.
It is.
It's still a weekly comment.
Most people make funny comments like, like that's a weapon. It's like,
yeah, kind of.
Don't test me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
yeah,
it will not feel good if I hit you with this.
Yeah,
it also doubles as a kettlebell.
Not the only weapon that we have on us, but still, yeah. Not a weird joke there, but like an actual.
I'm also, it's also a kettlebell. So everywhere I go, I have a kettlebell. If I want to hit some swings real quick, I got it.
If you fill that thing up too, you're getting a quick like 10-pound kettlebell swing out of it too.
Yeah,
doing some complexes with it and whatnot.
That's right.
Turn it into quick cardiovascular kettlebell work.
I'm just in the middle of a grocery store doing kettlebell swings.
like that right up here. Yeah, 100%.
So funny. But all of those things that are good for you and healthy and help you reach your goals and all those types of things are considered a disorder or too much or crazy. Society has all of that backwards. Obviously.
It goes for the same thing as meal prepping too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, granted,
and
like
you spend all that time meal prepping. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Right. I'm also going to argue too. Like, luckily, again, like Holly's a great cook, my wife, and so like that helps a lot with the meal prep aspect. But it's one of those where like her and I also like we made it very clear when we were both talking about meal prepping and whatnot, is that we made the point of, okay, this is going to be a varietous meal prep too. So like, I mean, I will make the point, like the idea of eating chicken and rice every single day.
Hey,
I mean,
don't hate on it.
Like it's to me, it sounds awful. It's very effective, but like also at the same time, like it is good to have other foods and whatnot. Like, you know, you go from bratwurst to chicken one week or something like that. Then the next week you go for some pork and stuff like that. You know,
beef, things like that.
Beef, you have tons of options there. Sure. You know what I mean? So like, you don't have to be somebody that is like literally the same exact meal every day. You don't have to do that.
You can be though.
You can be. Yeah. And the only downside about it sometimes would be questions about like micronutrients and whatnot.
Definitely.
That would be the only problem about that, because, you know, if you're only doing the white meat and whatnot, okay, what are you missing out from the red meat too?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's where you start asking questions. Like you actually start getting into the details of the diet and the nutrition and whatnot, that type of stuff. So
for sure.
But again, your point remains there too, is like you bring a meal, you're now disordered or something like that.
Yeah, right.
While in the same way and whatnot, you know, again, Paul over here just at his blue collar lunch just crushed some gas station tortillas.
And he does it every day.
He
Every day.
has the White Monster.
Yep.
And you know, whatever else.
You're pissing off a lot of Kyles right now, by the way.
Well, White Monster is not really the Kyle though, is it?
Oh yeah.
I thought Kyle was the green monster.
No, that's the White Monster, and then they punch the drywall.
Is it though?
Like Andy Bernard from The Office.
Because what's the Silver Lightning then from Form?
Awesome.
I mean, also the best version of the Silver Lightning, white type monster style. Of course. Yeah. Close. I mean, that's objectively true, but you know, like is that going to make you punch a hole in drywall too?
It hasn't done that to me yet.
That's good.
But every once in a while, those thoughts do creep into my head.
Again, it is concerning though that you are putting that over Screaming Freedom. That is.
It's not concerning.
No, it's a disappointing take.
It's correct.
For sure.
It's correct.
Sure. Hopefully we never bring Rich onto the pod and you have to hear his takes on Silver Lightning the whole time.
2v1.
Yeah.
2v1, yeah.
Put you two over there. I'll just argue Grape Smash and Freedom. There's Freedom the whole time.
I love those two also.
I mean, they're all
Top
great.
Three right
you
there.
And I had that conversation. They're all like still very, very tasty.
Yeah.
It's just like you obviously rank them at different levels. But
we should try a suicide. Mix them all together.
Like a death cup. Like a death cup type thing.
Mitchell?
Speaking of death,
right.
Something deathly came out of Mitchell over there.
Yeah, you know, like people do that with soda at gas stations. It's called suicide, where you mix all the flavors. Or
isn't
all
that like
sodas?
a big like 7-Eleven type thing
Probably.
they do? Yeah. I mean,
But,
we could.
Yeah.
It probably actually would taste good still. I'm
Probably
not gonna lie to you.
Anyway, we keep getting off track here.
I know.
That's okay.
It's also a hype episode.
It's the table.
Let's be really honest. Yeah,
it's the table.
This is hype. But again, going back to it, those of you that aren't really crushing that healthy lifestyle, again, they probably aren't listening to these type of episodes for the most part a lot of the time. So
Could be,
I hope they are.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
because like that's the type of stuff we want to pass on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, be nuanced in your takes. If you're going to even mention, like, you could just ask a question to somebody talking about caffeine intake, for example. Like, if you're somebody who is crushing the fast food pretty often, that type of stuff, the DoorDash, all that stuff, and you know, you hear somebody mention that, you know, they're having pre-workout, and just be like, so what's your caffeine dosage? Like, do you usually limit that? Be curious more.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, that stuff's going to give you heart issues.
Right.
Bro, come on.
It's like, for all you know, there's no caffeine in this pre-workout.
For all you know, it's a non-stim one, 100%,
Exactly.
which I've actually had that happen to me plenty of times. Like
Yeah,
I said,
oh,
I'm
yeah.
taking pre-workout. I'm like, no, it's non-stim.
Right.
Like that's because that's most of the time what I rip.
And then it
is
blows their
non-stim.
mind. Like, what do you mean it doesn't have caffeine? It's like, yeah, that just shows me that you know nothing about this.
Correct. And again, it's not some high horse thing. It's also just it's more like okay, why did you just ask that in like this very pompous tone and whatnot? When you just be curious about something you don't know about.
Right.
You know, be aware of the things you don't know about. Whenever I'm in the office setting, in a chiropractic clinic and whatnot, whenever I'm in a training setting and whatnot, there's all my clients also in person and then ours online, they do different stuff than we do.
Yeah.
So we don't pretend to know about steel fabrication like one of our clients and whatnot. We don't pretend to know about automotive stuff like one of our buddies, Sam James and whatnot, who does automotive work, has a company, Louder Lifted and whatnot. We don't pretend to be an expert on that too.
Right.
So you in turn don't pretend to be an expert to somebody about pre-workout or caffeine.
Well, and like also mind your business too. Like if you're just going to come up guns a-blazing, like why? How's that productive for you or for me?
Yeah, especially you're not like close to the person.
Yeah.
Like
that's going to kill you.
That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy thing to say.
What might kill you is when I drop this 45-pound plate on your face.
Hypothetically.
Sorry, that was the extreme talking.
Hypothetically.
That was the silver lightning coming out.
Not an actual felony Wurtz is committing here, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it was an accident.
Yeah. You stop spotting them. You're spotting them in gym. You're
oops.
Like, whoa, what happened there? Yeah. God.
I thought he could bench 405, you know? Like,
You hyped him up too.
Oh, bro, you got it.
Bro, you for sure got it. That's how dudes will be in the gym too. When it's like a big lift type of day, it's like, oh, you got this easy, bro. Like 5:30 on the bar.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if he's got this or not. Like you and I were spotting a guy at the first form gym, one of the last events, and we were like, bro, you got this. Like I think it was like 550
it
or
was.
something like that.
He was squatting. We both were like,
we had no.
I don't know if he got it.
I don't know if he's actually. I'm like, I don't know if he's got this at all. I have no clue, dude. For all we know, this could be a mess.
Yeah, right.
And now, did he complete it?
Kind of.
I think so.
Kind of.
Yeah, you're
Kind
right.
of,
Yeah, fair. Anyways,
all right. That was a lot of side notes. Fun anecdotes though.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you guys know where we stand. Like, be on the healthy side of things. Be on the productive side of things.
Don't be stupid with pre-workout. Don't be stupid with fast food.
Exactly.
And don't pretend to be an expert.
Moderation is key on both sides of that. You have some fast food every once in a while. It's not going to kill your progress. If you're training for something specific, probably avoid it entirely. Okay. We would say the same thing about alcohol. If you're training for something specific, probably keep it away.
Yeah.
Okay. Moderation. It's always a good nuance to just about any fitness related conversation.
Sure. I will add one note in too, like just to clarify the extreme here too. Cause like something with donuts, for example, if you're crushing donuts like every single day, or you're somebody who is, you know, even if it's like a couple times a week or something like that, you also like there are guys online, like the hybrid athletes, especially if you look at their training volume and the amount of miles some of these guys are putting in, you're talking 70-mile plus weeks for some of these guys.
Easy.
Running. And then you're also lifting and whatnot. There are days where like the carbs from donuts actually can be useful.
Well, because they're super quick.
Exactly.
Too.
They're really quick acting, fast acting. I mean, there are some guys that run a marathon and will have something like a donut or something like a quick carb type of thing.
Like Rice Krispies. That's always a popular
Rice Krispies,
one too.
100%.
Yeah.
So to make that note there, if you are a high level athlete like that, so to speak, or if you're training for those goals, that's a different story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but if you're somebody who gets in 2 workouts a week or something, okay, we're going to have a tough time justifying the donuts there.
If you're the normal gym goer, you probably don't need Rice Krispie treats on hand. You probably don't need the Sour Patch Kids on hand.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see those things at gyms at times, and it might be a PR day for a powerlifter or something. That's a different story. But if you're the normal gym goer, you go 3 to 5 times a week, you're just trying to maintain good health, you don't need the Rice Krispies on hand to get through your dumbbell bench press.
Right.
That's just an excuse.
That's facts, though. That's facts.
It's just an excuse to have Rice Krispie treats.
100%.
So your distinction was good there. I think that's a good place to settle this here. So at the end of all of our non-guest episodes, Money Mitch over here will ask us a Q&A question that is submitted by you guys, the listeners or the viewers. We have a few different ways we would like you to submit those to us. Number one, you can DM them to us on Instagram at untapped.llp. You can also DM them to us individually. You can text them to us as well. You can email them to us. Our email is untappedllp@gmail.com. And finally, you can leave them in the comments on any of our social media posts. We are very active on the Big Five. So Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, and YouTube Shorts. You can leave them in the comments anywhere. Questions can be about anything, health and fitness related, be breaking news, current event related. They can be funny, can be about anything. They all get sent over to Money Mitch, and then he will ask one at the end of the episode. Don't do that. Don't create an awkward silence.
I was hoping
It's crazy.
you wanted to prevent it. Is hyperfixating on foods a bad thing?
Okay.
Hyperfixating on the foods in the manner of like a bodybuilding prep type thing.
Sure.
Or like, I mean, because like give some general examples there from what the question relates to, I guess.
Well, I wasn't provided examples.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine.
That's fair.
We can
Okay. Surmise from it.
We can give a couple different angles here. Let's start on that one. You're preparing. You're in prep for a show for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
The obvious answer is you have to.
Yeah.
You have to hyperfixate on it. Otherwise, you're not going to present the body, the product that you want to on stage. I mean, that's pretty simple. That's pretty straightforward. Yes.
Now, and I will say too on that same note, it's like because it's hyperfixating, but being very educated on it or working with an educated coach as well. For sure. You know, because 100%. You know, you talk about a guy, again, we've mentioned a guy like John Heck before, you know, 6'7", 340 at his peak bulk, for example. You know, you're in a bulk phase, you're trying to add 30 pounds of tissue in general. You're going to have the cheat meals too. You know, you're going to go to a barbecue place and crush 2,000, 2,500 calories of barbecue and whatnot for a cheat meal for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And that again, there is scientific reason to that. You know, you could relate it to carb cycling. You could relate it to basically like a carb or in general calorie overload on those days. Yeah. And there is benefit to that on a bulk, especially.
Kind of a refeed type thing.
Yeah, kind of a refeed. That's a great example there too. So yeah, I mean, again, like if you're actually going to go through with going to a bodybuilding show and doing all the necessary stuff with that, you know, I would rather you hyperfixate on the food than on the compounds you utilize, like anabolic compounds.
Sure. Depending on the show you're doing, because there are untested shows.
Yeah, again, and you and I have made the distinction there too, to where like if you're just blasting a bunch of compounds and you're somebody who objectively does not have the genetics to make any money off the sport and you're just kind of doing it for the aesthetics and whatnot, it's like, okay, I guess. Yeah.
Basically just don't feel like you
free
have
country,
to.
You know, like, but I mean, I would rather you do a natural show and just see how dialed you can be on the details without the necessary stuff like that.
Because then with the natural show, you absolutely have to even more hyperfixate on it. Because you have to hyperfixate it in multiple ways too. It's not just on what you're eating, it's also the amounts. Because if you're in the cutting phase of the prep, you can't just bottom out your calories. You know, you might be talking a 200 to 500 at most calorie deficit over the course of 8 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it might be, right?
I know some guys do like a 16-week prep.
Some do as well, yeah.
Which is long, but again, like,
it is.
I actually personally would prefer something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know it would help me lock in a little bit
right.
more. Yeah.
And then you don't have to force like an 800 calorie deficit where that's like you're miserable. And then your lifts are suffering, therefore your body is suffering. So you're not putting on the muscle or you're not revealing the muscle in the correct way. You're going to show up skinny instead of cut.
Objectively, that's why you and I, like, you know, hypothetical, say you and I were to attempt to achieve a natural bodybuilding show in the future and whatnot, we would absolutely go through a coach. That's not saying we couldn't do it ourselves, but it would take a certain weight off our shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you would go to a guy like John Heck again because you know he's extremely well versed in that department, and it takes a weight off our shoulders. You know what I mean? So it helps, since you're already hyperfixating on the training and whatnot and the food as it is and what you buy at the grocery store and whatnot, at least you already know what you need to do because your coach tells you what you need to do.
Exactly.
And you don't have to worry about that piece of it. You know what I mean? And even you and I, as coaches with a lot of experience, would go and do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
So I think there's ways to take off hyperfixation, but
take off the stress maybe of the hyperfixation.
Of that hyperfixation. Yeah. Obviously it's not going to be it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Sure.
It's never going to be zero stress the whole time for a bodybuilding show, obviously. But
and that really goes for any specific event. I would say we could almost group in just about anything for this. You know, for the you can hyperfixate on the food. You know, if you're training for a specific race, a show, a meet, a competition, whatever it is, there's going to have to be a certain aspect of your preparation for that is hyperfixating on food. Some are going to have a little bit more leeway than others. Because it doesn't matter how you look, it's just how well you can perform. Powerlifting meets would be an example of that. You know,
endurance events hypothetically would be an example of that too.
Sure, because while you need strength to compete in an Ironman, a High Rocks, an ultra marathon, a marathon, even a half marathon, like you need strength throughout your body, but more importantly, you need the endurance. So you may not have the garden hose veins sticking out of your arms. You might not have the 6-pack abs clear cut, but like you would for a bodybuilding show. But you do have to hyperfixate on those things because it's what's fueling you for said event.
Sure.
That's where that comes in.
And I would even argue for something like an Ironman and whatnot, you're probably hyperfixating more on the training.
Well, of course.
Like we know a guy, and you would know who I'm talking about off the show here, but we know a guy who basically this guy, he, when he was training for his Ironman, I think he's done 2 Ironmans, I believe, or something. I don't want to quote that, but when it was like 3 workouts a day, because you're talking about bike, swim, run.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a day where he does 2 where it's a longer bike and a longer run and he no swim that day. The next day it's literally a morning swim, a lunch, bike, and then an afternoon run. You know what I mean?
And lifts are mixed in there as well.
And more than likely a 3-day-a-week lift is probably mixed in there 100% too. So like the hyperfixation on the training for something like that is much more so. And you could argue to a certain degree athletes as well into that degree. Like I'm talking about like sports athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Classic sports athletes, obviously other things are sports, but we've talked about guys like Chad Ochocinco, for example, you know what I mean? Or Chad Johnson before he went to the Ochocinco.
Right.
But he was talking about how he'd eat McDonald's and stuff like that, and by the way, just not to be TMI, but this dude also talked about how he would take Viagra before games.
Right.
You know what I mean? For like whatever performance enhancing.
Probably not the only one either.
Yeah, no, definitely not the only one.
Right.
But again, like there's also there's a coach named Tim Riley. You and I have listened to his podcast a good amount too. I think he worked with or is still working with Jamar Chase from the Bengals. And I mean, Jamar comes in there. He literally told a story where he said that Jamar came into the weight room, hadn't lifted for like 2 months, walks in, cleans 350 raw. So like
with a spray bottle or
yeah, he wiped it down. Yep. Wiped down the bar. Yep, 100%. No, literally, like, I believe it was a hang clean, he said. I don't think it was, or maybe it was power clean. It doesn't matter either way. Regardless,
right.
hang or power, it does not matter there in that scenario. Just walks in there, boom, knocks it out, and then, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
So, and Tim also made the point, he's like, this guy is not really perfect with his nutrition at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, there are the aspects of the genetic freak stuff, and those guys, if we're being really honest, those guys are also going to be the ones to make it to the higher levels. A lot of stuff. What separates, again, from like a Tom Brady compared to a base level quarterback in the NFL is going to be the hyperfixation on the training and the diet. A Nathan McKinnon in the NHL, he is very genetically gifted, but he also, if you literally just look up stories with him and how he captains the team and leads the team and whatnot, this guy is everything. No, we're not going out tonight, boys. That's not happening. We're making a Stanley Cup run right now.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
And they listen.
Yeah. And you're going to bed by 10 o'clock. You're waking up. You're crushing a good breakfast. And this type of stuff he'll do.
Yeah.
And he'll do it for himself too. So it's like a guy like him, again, who is arguably him and McDavid are the 2 best players in the league, of course. Like,
sure.
That's what separates those guys at that level of things. You know what I mean? So the hyperfixation also, I don't think it's a bad thing either.
No.
When we're talking about these sports and these different shows like in bodybuilding, endurance levels, sports, all of it, I don't think the hyperfixation is necessarily a bad thing by any means.
And
because it's just like you're hitting a different level. Like
it's the separator.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the separator. It's one of those things. Diet is one of those things where it's very, very easy to discredit the impact it has, right? People will say, well, I work out. We just had this situation, actually. I work out 5 to 6 times a week, and then I drink a ton on the weekends. And for some reason, I can't lose this little roll right here. It's like, well, you want the honest truth? There's 2 things here. Your 5 to 6 days, number one, probably aren't intense enough. But you're walking in the doors of the gym, and you're lifting 5 to 6 times, but is it intense enough? Number 2, may have to cut out the alcohol. May have to cut out the fast food. May have to cut out X, Y, and Z.
Like you and I also in the same scenario, we found that this guy doesn't really eat a lot during the week.
Yeah, in this specific example, yes.
He doesn't eat a lot on his training days either.
Exactly. And when we gave him the answer, which is the correct answer, it blew his mind, and he thought we were crazy.
Yep. 100%.
Like
good, by the way, like the dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great dude.
It's just a recent, it's still in the head kind of example, So really quick here, because we've extended this probably longer than what we intended to. For the normal person, hyperfixation doesn't necessarily have to happen. Now, I think we'll argue that it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing at all. But for the normal person who just wants to maintain good health, wants to be able to move how they want to move, wants to be able to, enjoy some good food at times, wants to enjoy some alcohol at times, you don't have to hyperfixate on the food. Now, that doesn't mean you be this guy where you work out 5 to 6 times a week and then you eat crap every single day also, because that's not going to work. But for the normal person who is not an athlete, who is not training for a specific event, competition, show, whatever, you don't necessarily have to hyperfixate on the diet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you should have like a 70-30, 80-20 type ratio to good to bad.
Preferably at least 80-20.
Right.
Yeah.
To maintain and or see results. It has to be that way.
Yeah.
It can't be 50-50. It certainly can't be 40 good, 60 bad, or anything more than that. It needs to be at least probably a 70-30.
Yeah.
Maybe a 65-35 if you want to get like super technical with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say on that.
Last point I'll make on the hyperfixation point too, because you were talking about normal people
Mhm.
and whatnot. I would tend to encourage or slowly push normal people away from the hyperfixation on genetically reliant sports, if that makes sense, like a bodybuilding, for example. Because the hyperfixation, when it comes to normal people on that and whatnot, they're told they can be like their favorite bodybuilder.
Yeah.
A lot of times. The genetic piece plays a massive factor in that. And again, that's not taken away from a C-Bum or Ronnie Coleman or an Arnold or whatever. All those guys train their balls off.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Even John Heck. If you and I
100%.
trained and ate the same way John Heck does, we would not. First of all, he's got a bunch of height on
100%.
us. But this is a dude that's 340 with a clear-cut six-pack.
Yep. Keep in mind, too, he also really didn't like football. He's talked about this before. He didn't like football.
Yeah.
He just was really good at it.
And enormous.
So,
and that's what his family did, by the way. His
100%.
brother and his dad.
Yeah.
Okay. His dad is still, I believe, the O-line coach
Yes.
for the Chiefs, racking up Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
That's what this family does. But yeah,
and his brother's on the Buccaneers.
Exactly.
So like genetic component again.
Exactly.
For someone there as
Right.
a top offensive lineman and whatnot. He totally could have been.
Sure.
He was going to be drafted, just decided not to declare for the draft.
Exactly.
John was. So it's like, and again, like I'm not saying football is entirely, genetically dependent. But, if you're 5'5", 130 pounds.
Probably not going to work out for you.
Yeah, I don't think cornerback's your position.
Right.
Even in a scenario like that. I don't think linebacker's your position. That's for
Right.
damn sure.
The local flag football team might be looking for players.
Yeah,
So.
that's probably a good choice there. Yeah, the untapped football game will be looking for players.
There you go.
Hey, we got
Come on out.
We got some good athletes out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Mainly you and I, of course, but
Of course.
no duh.
Whose team won again? Oh, yeah. My team.
Hey, winning doesn't take away from athleticism, okay? Gosh. It just so happens we lost, all right? Yeah. Because Mr. Ruckman's a dog at QB.
True.
So,
True.
he's cold. But anyways, on the genetically reliant sports and whatnot, I would caution getting into the hyperfixation on those a lot of times. Because again, I had this conversation with Ash Hawking actually over at Supplement Superstores Manchester. Him and I were talking about C-Bum. And he had been under the impression that C-Bum had basically been on performance enhancing drugs for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at a 15, 16-year-old picture of C-Bum when he was not on performance enhancing compounds. This dude was a monster.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
He already had a 6 to 8 pack at that point in time. He was already 6'2", 220 or whatever, 15, 16 years old without any compounds.
Right.
So like Joe Schmo in high school who is still, 5'10", 140 pounds or whatever, you're going to have a tough time justifying the especially the anabolic compounds. You're not going to be able to justify that to me. You're just not going to be able to. So I would make that point as well. Now, again, when it comes to stuff like you and I hyperfixate on good training.
Mm-hmm.
You and I do that weekly. You know,
Oh, yeah.
hyperfixate on
Absolutely.
very good training. And for us, it's a hyperfixation on general athleticism.
Yeah.
It's a hyperfixation on being able to play football with the boys at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a hyperfixation on still being able to play hockey as I close in on 30. You know what I
Right.
mean? And still be good at it. And by the way, still what I feel like getting better at it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like but it's men's league hockey, but I'm under no illusions at the same time that I'm going to go to the NHL.
Right.
Obviously. But I can still hyperfixate on something like that makes more sense in that scenario.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While if you're literally under an illusion that you're going to win high-level bodybuilding shows and whatnot, or that you're going to be the next offensive lineman or something like that, and you have none of those genetic components that are necessary, that's where I don't like the normal people trying to hyperfixate there.
Sure.
So, and again, like that's a lot of personal opinion for me there. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to live the life just like how Jacob Gabel tells you to, obviously.
Right.
But that's thoughts from me there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, guys, that's episode 195. As always, please share the show. It's free. It's easy. It helps us. It helps you because it helps us. That's how it works.
I mean, true.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's how it works.
100%.
Any announcements? Let's see. April, for those of you on our email chain, you saw that April is a very jam-packed month for us as far as events go.
Awesome.
We have an Iron Hive event with S2 Manchester. That is April 11th, which is a Saturday. That'll be 6 to 9 p.m. So it's a nighttime event. It's just
open gym. Anybody can come in.
Open gym style, no cost. Come hang out. Say what's up to us. Say what's up to the S2 guys. The weekend before that will be our next scheduled men's event. So that will be April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That will likely be in the Wildwood area. And then keep your eyes peeled for April 18th, the weekend after the Iron Hive. So 3 straight weekends. April 18th, keep your eyes peeled for another special event. Full details should hopefully be out soon for that.
Yeah.
So nothing for the remainder of March. We are going out of town for the last weekend in March, so nothing there. But then 3 straight weekends of events for us in April to start out the month. So big month for April for us. Come and say what's up. The Iron Hive event, by the way, is not just a men's event. Anybody can come to that. But the other 2 men's events. All right?
Yep.
Any questions about that, reach out to us. Email, sign up for it. It's free. It's in our Instagram bio. Click the Beacons link. Email sign up is like the second or third one down. Or if you need help getting it, just shoot us a message. We can send the link right to you. That should be everything. So guys, share the show. That's episode 195. Until next time, peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.